guys, I'm Aaron with PhoneDog.com. You know, it's been an exciting couple of weeks for BlackBerry users with the BlackBerry Torch 9800 coming out on AT&T. It's a new piece of hardware, new form factor, and new software. Familiar but fresh, as RIM executives call it, in BlackBerry 6. So, exciting piece of hardware. The question everybody has is, sure, it may keep BlackBerry users on the platform, but is it going to make Android and iPhone users switch over? That's the question everybody asks. We'll find out in the review. BlackBerry Torch 9800 starting right now. So here's the BlackBerry Torch 9800, and you know it's interesting on two fronts. One, because it's an entirely new design from RIM. It's the first device to offer a touchscreen and a physical QWERTY keyboard in one. And one thing I've liked, you know, I've worked with this device for a couple days, and one thing I like is when you have the keyboard open, you don't even have to use the touchscreen. You can use the trackpad, or if you keep it closed, you can utilize the touchscreen, and that's it. So it's nice. It's a great transition between the physical QWERTY. So for those that are used to the Tour, the Bold 9650, or the 9000, you know, you can get an easy transition into the touchscreen and utilize the physical keyboard until you're comfortable, using the touchscreen. And I found myself going back and forth. You know, depending on the day, I'd use it like this, or I'd use the physical keyboard. So let's dive into it. I actually reset the device so we could go from scratch through the review, because I want to show you BlackBerry 6 from beginning, from the setup on, because it is, familiar but fresh, as RIM, says and everything. And it's for BlackBerry users, they'll notice some similarities, but it's different enough to justify some in-depth conversation rather. So the handheld device. Let's go through. Okay, and then welcome to BlackBerry. So we're going to walk through this. One thing I like, get your little welcome thing there. Back out of that. One thing I like is right out of the box it gives you the setup screen, and it's a little bit different setup. You can select the feature and it gives you the setup there, and it gives you personalization, and it gives you help and tutorials right out of the box. So from the beginning I can set up an email account, I can set up BlackBerry Messenger. It might help if I connect. I can do that in a minute. AT&T address book, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. So you can set all that up out of the box, and it's much easier. For sake of actually turning on the wireless connection, I'm going to jump out here. Turn on mobile network. So here's the home screen. Oh, excuse me, Eastern time. Yep. All kinds of initial setup stuff here. So here's the home screen of BlackBerry 6, and there are a lot of differences just here. You'll notice that this clock area acts as a button where you see the one email that's telling me registration's complete. That's a button, and then the sound and then the search is a button as well. So you'll notice clicking on the clock gives me my connection screen, manage my mobile network, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. I can set my alarm from here, and it gives me mobile network options, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, service, and other options. This acts as, if you remember the kind of notification theme of BlackBerry 5, this gives me a notification menu where when I get a message, a text message, an email, which will be a message, it's showing up right here. So you can see registration. And then I currently have no new notifications. So if I miss a call, everything goes in here, from social feeds, or RSS feeds rather, to Twitter, to anything like that shows up here, and then the icons show up right there on the home screen. Whoops. Goodness. Excuse me. Sound options, profile. It's on normal now. You can set it to medium, silent, vibrate, however you choose. And then search. You can search the device. So let's say I'm looking for YP Mobile. As soon as I type YP, it brings up YP Mobile. So it's a nice search. If I'm looking for a contact, I don't have any in here right now because I haven't set up any contacts, but if I'm searching for a contact, I can start typing, and it shows up right there with the apps. You'll notice, whoops, not yep, YP, brings up the apps, and it will bring up contacts and any messages with that person as well from the inboxes. Down here, you get a lot of customization options. You'll see all, and by scrolling up, I get all of my programs that come by default installed from top to bottom. And then I can scroll over, look at favorites. I can put some favorites in here, which I did prior to resetting it. I use, obviously, a browser, email, text messaging, and Twitter on a pretty regular basis, so I had those installed in the favorites folder. Media, which sectionalizes based on music, videos, pictures, etc. And then downloads, so Fandango, the Weather Channel, any of the apps that I download, frequently used. Just out of the box, I've frequently accessed sound and alert profiles and setup. So you notice those there. And you can customize it any way you want to. If you don't want the apps on the main screen, you can customize there and pull the drawer down. If you want one, you can leave it there if you want to. And you can keep it all the way up to the top as well. And by default, it remembers your configuration. So let's scroll down. And then let's say I want to access calendar. And then I back out. And you'll notice it remembered that I wanted the dock all the way at the bottom. So nice customization options there. I actually prefer having one icon row there, if you will. Physical keyboard, very much like the Bold 9650 and the Tour. If they were to get together and have offspring, I would say that it's a very similar keyboard. Very tactile. The keys, you can tell, are raised. Makes for a nice experience there. The one thing I had trouble with on the keyboard front was, just show you, I don't have any email services configured, but just to show you, is a touchscreen keyboard. The keys are very small, and then I found myself using landscape mode on a regular basis, but the keys are pretty small. And when you're typing, you'll notice H is right above. So at times it's hard to see the key that you're typing. Go back to that. No. Save draft. Okay. So if I was to type something like, phone dog is awesome. I've used it for a week, so I've gotten pretty decent at it. But you'll notice that things, if you're coming from the iPhone or you're coming from Android or some of the other options, you'll notice that the keys are a little bit out of place. And one thing that frustrated me was you would imagine that the numbers would be in a row across the top. They're not. They're based very much like a number pad. So when I was typing, I was expecting to see those up there. And then the symbols are there as well. So personal preference, you may get the device and love the on-screen keyboard. It took me about a week to get used to it. I'm pretty good at it now, but it's not my favorite on the market. So if you didn't see the unboxing, I just want to recap on the design. Lock button, mute button rather, on the top, volume rocker on the right side, convenience key, micro USB charging port on the left side, and then 4 physical buttons: send, menu, back, and end, along with a trackpad, and then the 3.5mm headphone jack on the right side. Forgot about that. And a 5-megapixel camera on the back. So nice device. One thing I found, these keys up top are very sensitive. So you lock the screen, for example, and I found that in my pocket, it would activate very easily, and I'm typing out random messages to contacts. So, friends were getting type messages as well. So let's go into the menu again. I want to show you some of the changes on the contacts front. Let's say we're creating a new contact. You'll see completely redesigned contact screen. Offers you, no, I don't want AT&T's wireless backup. Offers you to, or allows you to set a picture, title, first, last name. Just some minor revisions there, and it's optimized for the touchscreen as well. So you can use both. You can use the touchscreen or the trackpad. And that goes back to what I was saying, for people that are used to the keyboard Blackberries or Blackberries with physical keyboards, you can use it like this, or you can close it and use it like that. That's a nice option as well. Just to scroll up, you'll notice out of the box, RIM's offered quite a few applications pre-installed. And if you remember, they're not really pre-installed. The icon is actually in the menu, but you got to download it. So you'll notice Facebook, Twitter, and to their credit, it's geared as much more of a consumer device. So out of the box, it has Facebook, Twitter, and then RIM's social feeds, which I actually have a notification on. Social feeds application, which I can combine my RSS, social filter, and then I can go in here and configure AIM BlackBerry Messenger, all the way down, Facebook, Google Talk, my various social feeds that I use on a daily basis. So it's a nice, program that aggregates all your data together, and RSS comes out of the box, so that's what it was notifying me for. But you can see, Facebook, Twitter, so MySpace, so on that front they've done a great job. CNN, the Weather Channel, ESPN, a lot of these installed, but let's just say, for example, we want to download Fandango. You'll notice it takes you to the internet where we actually download the program. So it's just more of a shortcut button out of the box. But one thing you'll notice if you're a former BlackBerry user, you would download, and it seemed like in comparison to Android or iPhone, the other operating systems, it took forever to download an app. And I think they've improved that, because you'll notice when I click I agree, and hit download, much faster download experience. You can see there, versus BlackBerries of the past. So it's going, and bam, it's downloaded. So about 8 seconds, and that program is automatically there. So much better on that front as well. Application successfully installed. Let's back out of that.